Yeah. Yeah. It's starting to feel like a little something, ain't it?
Starting to feel like Wednesday again.
Mm. Oh, I love it. I love it.
The Archie Carter in the building. King HP, he's about to explode. You know why? Because this is Wednesday Night Wars starring who? It ain't about us. It's about you, the viewer, you, the wrestling fan, you, the person, and y'all, the livest chat on the internet. Wednesday Night Wars, HP, what's up? We got a battle tonight. We got Scott Hall being represented by
Yes,
the
sir.
Horseman 97 and Razor Ramon being represented by your team known as the Click.
Absolutely.
How you
Absolutely.
feel? Chat, what's up? Let's get it cracking.
Yo, I think this is about to be a heavyweight battle of epic proportions. One, I guess we can say he's an icon at this point. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of, and he crossed timelines. He crossed timelines. You know what I'm saying? So whenever you got a star of this proportion with two heavyweight areas of expertise, shall we say, right? You're gonna have a battle, and tonight,
we got action. Shout out to Polo in the building. Adam JP was good. We're gonna wait for a few more of these team members to get in here. I see my tribal chief, my wise man, is in the chat already. You know, so
good for him. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Polo in the building. We ready to get this dub tonight. We ready to talk to the Click and the wrestling world and tell them why Scott Hall, the character and gimmick, was better than Razor Ramon, the character and gimmick. And let me start by saying this while we wait for the chat to get here. Legendary wrestler, lived a legendary life. We not saying one character was better than the other, but we saying why we like this character better than the other, because there's no knock on his career. The simple fact that he has two debatable careers and gimmicks in two separate companies tells you Scott Hall was him. So it's really a celebration of Scott Hall tonight. Shout out to SCB First Lady. Foles definitely up. Cooler than you. Polo in the building. Hey, my backcourt is here. Where your gang at?
Hey, where I only see things in the chat. I ain't see. It's not like I see people popping up. You know what I'm saying?
I see SCB First Lady. I see.
I got a guy. I got a guy who got his dinner with his goddaughter. He gonna be here momentarily.
Hey, we ain't in no rush. We ain't in no rush.
Trust me, I was like, all right, handle your family first. You know what I'm saying?
Over here. Okay, Vinny's in the building. Okay. Shout out to Frank. He's live via satellite. You know, everybody can't be here every week, but you will be represented properly on the Wednesday Night Wars. And for those who are tuning in, if you don't know what the Wednesday Night Wars is, watch the show, baby. Watch the show because it's starring you. We just here so we don't get fined.
Who these little polo people on these camels?
Come on, baby. Horsepower. Hashtag horsepower.
I ain't know. I did not know.
Hashtag horsepower.
I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. But now that I know, I appreciate you explaining that. Yo, this week is going to be a crazy one. Definitely looking forward to jumping into this topic. Are we going to give each person at least to start 1 minute, 2 minutes? We're going to give them a little time, at least some sort of, you know what I'm saying, some sort of time.
Well, I think we me and you already determined how we decide who goes first.
Yeah.
So what happens is you get a minute to state your piece. And what's going to happen is we're probably going to start saying some of the same things, right? So that's where you come in and you might mention something somebody on your team might not have mentioned. And if they did, we leave it right there. But, you know, because once you list the accolades and the achievements, there's only so many to list. Then we just talking about opinion. And we don't talk opinions on here.
I'm gonna let you talk yourself in that hole, brother.
Documentation beats conversation. So we talking facts over here.
Okay. We're gonna see that when your first people arrive, whoever they are, whenever they are.
You know I got 3 in the chamber right now.
Who you don't want to start calling them?
Who you want?
You're the general manager.
6 million ways to die. Choose one.
Tell Burger King who you want to work the shift.
Come on, man. Horsemen, horsewomen, if you available to pop in right now, let me know so we can get this thing going. We're going to give HP Time some grace. You know what I'm saying? Give his team some grace. Shout out to y'all for being punctual. See, punctuality shows character. We got character over here.
Punctuality beats reality. Ha, you know what I'm saying? Y'all better, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you Sauce Walker now, all of a sudden.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But
you Akeem Ali.
But you know, I can't call it, you know what I'm saying? We got shirts, the click, you know what I'm saying? I can't knock it. You know what I'm saying? Don't knock it till you try it, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Merch alert, merch alert.
All you gotta do is DM me, right? All shirts, no matter what size. I don't have no smalls. I don't have no smalls. You know what I'm saying? So if you small, you gotta get a medium, right? If you big and you get in a medium, well, hey, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's only a limited supply. We making moves. However, all shirts, we only doing $20. We only doing $20. DM me and I will link with you. I don't want anybody
bad, brother, because people, hey, y'all know people sell merch 40, 50, 60 bones.
Yeah. This ain't gonna be that. But what I ain't gonna do, don't put anything personal in. Just DM me. Y'all know how to DM me so I can get your address. I pay for shipping. You will not pay for no shipping around here. You know what I'm saying? It's all you. Hey, did you get in the transfer portal? That's what you pay. That was the shipping. You know what I'm saying? You paid the shipping. You paid to be here. You know what I'm saying? You paid to be here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, absolutely. Hey, and you know what? I'm an equal opportunist, baby. I don't care if you're a horseman. If you want a click shirt, you can burn it for it. That'd be your fault. That'd be your foolishness. You know what I'm saying? But when you put it on, you're gonna feel so good.
Getting a click shirt to burn is crazy.
What
Yo,
if they
Polo
get here and do
SCP, cooler than you. Any of y'all available? Because I just want to get this show on the road, baby. Anybody available? Let us know.
Vinny, I just sent you the. Did I just send it? Make sure I sent it. Yeah, I sent it to your ex.
Bring the documentation to the table about the legend, the man that is Scott Hall, because that's who we representing tonight. While they're representing Razor Ramon, really, both sides of this coin is a win, but only one team can win, and y'all gonna decide that too. Because after this broadcast goes up tomorrow, a poll goes up. That poll sits for a week, and next Wednesday, depending on how strong we argued our cases, the Twitter world is on Twitter, right?
Twitter, Instagram, and I think Twitter and Instagram. Oh, and the YouTube.
Yeah, so y'all gonna decide. We're gonna count the votes, and you know what I'm saying? Somebody's gotta hold the L. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's gotta hold the L. But Scott Hall, Razor Ramon ain't holding it.
Huh?
It's gonna be whatever. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon ain't holding no L. It's gonna be either the Click or the Horsemen. Somebody did not argue. You know what I'm saying? Somebody didn't get their point across. You know what I'm saying? So
the point across. Okay, no problem, Vinny. You know, we know you talk
that
talk, Vinny. Yeah, Vinny.
Well, Vinny definitely ready to talk that talk.
Vinny
I got another one in the chamber
preoccupied. He handling a little business. Hey, handle your business.
Yo, I think it's funny because we talk about Scott Hall and Razor Ramon. I don't want to say anything away, but you know what I'm saying. But like, you got a guy who's in two different companies. There's a lot to argue, right?
We could talk. We could talk about what we think about it. Save the argument for the argument, but you know.
Oh yeah, that fact. But like, you know what I'm saying? Vince McMahon is a true genius. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, First Lady. I see you in the chat. Even though he's 4 down, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, backgrounds be chaotic sometimes. So shout out to you. If there's anything when we chat crew members who aren't available to go live tonight, when we start our debates, proving our point, whatever you got to say, dump it in the chat. That's your time to dump it in the chat. So when I start talking about Scott Hall, you got something to add to it that I may have missed? Cool. So, because like we said, we know everybody's not going to be available all the time, but dump it in the chat. We will see it. We will get to it. You will be represented. And yeah, and when my shirts come, I'm sending shirts out too. You ain't the only one with shirts.
Yo, I wouldn't be mad.
Nice ass
Vinny,
screen printed, high quality cotton t-shirts.
if
Pre-shrunk, so they're not gonna shrink when you wash them. I
yeah,
know what you try to do.
They run, you know what I'm saying? So if you're a buff guy, you're gonna look great in it. I promise you. You know what I'm saying? I promise you. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on my buffness. My inner fat kid was winning a little bit.
Adam, come on, Adam. Don't disrespect me like that, Adam. Don't disrespect me like that, Adam. You know what? When I get mine in, we're gonna do that. We're gonna have an even exchange. Loser has to wear the winner's next show. So I'm gonna have to get you some 97 chains.
Okay. I
like
that.
Yeah,
we're gonna get you a click shirt. Okay.
Oh,
I like that.
I think my camera might not work that night.
I think yo, Vinny, if they did that shit like LeBron, I'm gonna put you on camera and let you do it too. If they burn the shirt, like how they was burning them Cleveland jerseys, and I'm just Archie gonna be like, damn, I'm gonna be quiet, like,
hey, crazy times.
It's crazy.
Yeah, we give it a few more minutes. SCB says she's not available. Polo, Cooler, are any one of you available? If not, I can go at it alone. And trust me, I'm gonna represent the game.
Have the convo.
I'm gonna represent the game. Like I'm gonna, yeah. Y'all can put this one on my back. Give me the ball.
8:45, 8:50. People gonna start tapping in. Put me in the game, coach. You gonna be like, whoa, we just. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, watch the replay.
Watch the replay, yo. You know what? Now that I know that some people are busy and I might have to start the game, you know what I'm saying? I might not be a closer, you know what I'm saying? But I'll start the first 6 innings. You know.
Well, let's give it 3 minutes. That means we had been on 15 minutes, and then we said how we were going to do it. So if that goes out the window, we can have an old school rock, paper, scissors shoot off. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no 2 out of 3s. Ain't no 3 out of 5s. It's a 1v1, 1 out of 1.
I like that. So, okay, that's a. Bet.
And I just want to say, man, first of all, my memories of Scott Hall, legendary man. Like he lived like a legendary life. Like they say, never meet your heroes. That's one person I never met that I probably would have fanned out over. Like I would have legit fanboy over meeting Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, just because of like who he was, and I believe that's who he is. And we're gonna get into all that. I met Kevin Nash, Big Sexy.
Oh,
I didn't fan out. I met Kevin Nash and Mick Foley in the same day. And then around the corner from them, it was the Hardy Boys, Lex Luger, Jimmy Hart, Ted DiBiase, and Jake the Snake. Crazy. So
you know what's funny? I don't think there's only like for me to fan out Shawn Michaels, because I grew up on Shawn Michaels. I grew up off Benjamin Shelton. I had to do it.
First of all, I know we're here for Razor Ramon to celebrate Scott Hall tonight, but Hulk Hogan always finds a way to put his foot in his mouth. He's the most find a way habitual line stepping person ever. Like and it could have even been innocent, right? But Hulk, like, it's every time they cut a camera on and put a camera on Hulk Hogan, it's a moment.
It's a moment. And he did it like twice. That's what makes it even more funny. And I almost messed up saying his name where I said it the right way. So I had to, like, it takes a little bit to say it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
But nobody in the history of wrestling has ever called Shelton Benjamin Shelton. It's always Shelton Benjamin. Benjamin Shelton don't even roll off the tongue. It's Shelton Benjamin. And he's been Shelton Benjamin his whole career. It's not like he went to another company and he was
it was like Daniel Bryan and now you're Bryan Danielson, right?
I get that, right? Yeah. But no, he's been Shelton Benjamin his whole life. I don't even know if that's his real name, but to us, his name is Shelton Benjamin. That's like Manny Fresh. I don't know Manny Fresh's real name, but it's Manny Fresh. And nobody's ever called him Fresh Manny. So Hulk Hogan just finds a way. Like Terry B. Wild.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my God.
All right, we 15 minutes in. You want to do this? You want to 1v1 this tonight, HP?
Yeah,
let's see if anybody's available. Anybody available?
You might have to get started. Like I said, I know I got one. Vinny said he can't do it at the moment, and then I got another one. Mike McCullough, he out. Then he doing the family thing.
Hey, I'm not mad at nobody doing their thing because we do this show for y'all. Y'all can tap in later, give us your opinion, dump it in the chat, dump it in the chat. I think we can get it cracking. HP, what you want to do? You ready?
Yeah, we gonna have this ultimate game of rock paper scissors.
Hold on, let me check one more time. See if my man Polo's available. Did Polo say he was available?
Adam, you can turn your camera off. Your camera don't have to be on, brother. And then in between your takes, you can mute your mic. It's easy. It's easy.
All right, Polo. Okay, yeah. Hey, Cooler getting money. Polo enjoying a nice California sun. Mike's having dinner. We hold it down. We gotta hold it down, baby. No biggie. Y'all can come in and tap in later. But HP, I think we need to get the arguments rolling. What you think?
Yes, sir. I'm with you, brother.
You ready?
Rock, paper, scissors, right?
It's rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Then you throw.
And you throw. Okay. I just wanted to be clear. You know what I mean?
You ready?
All right. Yes. Ready? You call. You call the cadence.
Go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. You ready? I gotta run it back.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Fly down.
You kicking or you receiving? You kicking or you receiving?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? We want to kick.
You want to kick?
We want to kick.
So I'm kicking the war off, representing Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first of all,
you want me to put the You want me to put the minute?
Give me 2 since it's just me right now. Hold up. I ain't ready yet. Because when you talk about Scott Hall, you gotta do it right. You feel me? You gotta talk about Scott Hall the only way you can talk about Scott Hall. Bandana on.
I like this.
Yeah. You gotta open up the jean jacket like when he showed up on Nitro. Yeah. And you gotta have the gold on because he was Razor Ramon. So if you're gonna talk about Scott Hall, you gotta talk about Scott Hall. You ready?
Yeah.
Put me on the clock, man. Listen.
Ready. Your world.
Scott Hall was the bigger, better gimmick than Razor Ramon because it was truly who Scott Hall was. 7-time WCW Tag Team Champion, 6 times with Big Sexy Kevin Nash, 1 time with The Big Show. 1-time TV title holder, 2-time United States Champion in WCW. Yes, that sounds great. Yes, that sounds good. And he won the World War III in 1997. But you cannot mention Scott Hall without mentioning the 3 most game-changing letters in history of wrestling. N-W-O. Gets no bigger than that. I mentioned the jean jacket because one random Monday, he showed up and changed the business. Stood up, jean vest popping, and said, "You know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here."
1 minute to go.
One of the first shots that started the revolution known as the Monday Night Wars and started the Attitude Era. Scott Hall was a part of something larger than life. I don't even know if he knew how big that was going to be at the moment, but Scott Hall was a part of it. He won gold. He won singles gold. He won championship gold. And not only that, he was like the coolest dude ever. And I really believe that's who Scott Hall was. I know you're going to mention all this stuff he did in WWF, HP, but NWO was started in WCW with Scott Hall, with the black and white, going into the Wolf Pack, and nothing you can say tonight is ever going to be bigger than that alone. The rest we can talk about. We'll get into it. NWO, check. Gold around his neck and waist and fingers, check. Trendsetter, check. One of the coolest and best ever. Scott Hall, big man, left a big legacy, and that was a big flex. You know what I'm saying? You gotta rep it right. You ain't got no gold on. You repping Razor Ramon, man. But whatever. That was my first argument. And chat, if I miss anything, dump it. SCB First Lady, if I miss anything, correct me if I'm wrong. Polo, Cooler, if I'm wrong. Frank, anybody in the chat, any of the horsemen, if I didn't represent you right, put it in the chat, because I ain't afraid to go to homie court, because we got to win this war. HP, click, it's on y'all. Now, let me take this off my head. I like a bad Tupac. So, but I had to represent one time for Scott Hall, and rest in peace to the legend that is Scott Hall. And thanks for the memories. For real, one of them ones. He was one of them ones. HP, it's your turn, bro. Go ahead and lie to the people.
All right. I'm oozing machismo. Let me start off by saying Razor Ramon is a fresh character brought to you by way of Cuban America, you know, with a series of vignettes in which he was on the streets of Miami, robbing and stealing, flicking the toothpick, you know what I'm saying? And then he comes to the WWF, as that is known at that time. He is able to establish numerous relationships that brought him into the likes of main event status. Let me tell you about some of these relationships that he formed. Y'all remember when he was running with Ric Flair and they was going after the Macho Man? Yeah, he was in a world title picture. He also challenged Bret Hart for that world title. So before we can talk about a Scott Hall, we got to talk about the man who got him there. We got to talk about the very first 4-time Intercontinental Champion, never done in the history of the business. Razor Ramon, he elevated the mid card. Like I said, he challenged Bret Hart for the world title. He did the main events with the likes of Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah, Ric Flair as the tag team partner going against Macho and Mr. Perfect. So again, you have a mid-carder who's not a mid-carder. He was the coolest guy around. And let me tell you the genius of Razor Ramon. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even Cuban. You know what I'm saying? The man ain't even Cuban. But for the longest time, he put the taco meat, he doused with, gave us the Clark Kent, you know what I'm saying? And he went out and whooped ass. Secondly, he's got one of the illest finishers in the game, the Razor's Edge. And let me tell you, it's still being done to this day, but only one guy has ever kicked out of that finisher. One guy. And that guy's name is Crush. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about efficiency of a finisher, you talking about Razor Ramon. It ain't called the Hall's Edge. It ain't called the hallway. Tap time. You know what I mean?
Time's up. The hallway would have been crazy. The hallway. Listen, we ain't. I don't want to hear it in the chat talk about no memorable match. Let's talk the memories of Scott Hall. Yes, when we have this argument on this podcast all the time, what's more memorable, a classic match or classic promo? Right? We have that classic match or classic moment. Scott Hall has classic moments, and Razor Ramon. I'm not knocking the ladder match. Classic moment. He was part of the clique, right? But he had a classic moment with the 1, 2, 3 kid as Razor Ramon.
Oh, I was getting ready to put. I'm like,
so,
I don't know how
so
many
what
more
I'm saying is,
we got, but I
he got all that, but nothing will ever be bigger than the NWO. And the unfortunate thing about Scott Hall and Razor Ramon is he never won the big one in either company.
He can never say world champion.
That's the only knock I have on his career in ring, and absolutely the coolest. He's from Maryland. Vincent Kennedy McMahon had us thinking a no offense white man from Maryland was Scarface. And it worked. It worked. Well. The coolest character ever. Razor Ramon is hands down one of the coolest characters and gimmicks ever. But what Scott Hall did, how the NWO revolutionized wrestling, and how him being part of that, come on, man. Like, I just personally believe that makes the Scott Hall character more valuable in this argument. Not knocking what he did as Razor, because like I said, one wrestler I would have fanned out over is Scott Hall. And even up until his last days, he was still the bad guy. And he made bad guys cool.
Bro, he is literally one of the most iconic characters. Like we always talk about the Undertaker's character, but Razor Ramon. So there's okay. When you talk about Scott Hall, right, in his whole entirety, you get about 3 different iterations of him, maybe 4, right? You get him as the Diamond Stud, you know what I'm saying, in pre WWF, and then you get him as Razor Ramon, and then you get him as Scott Hall, but not as a Diamond, just Scott Hall, and it's a runoff of what you got in WWF, right? His character virtually is the same. I mean, damn near from them last 2 all the way through. Like the Undertaker went through so many iterations in the same time span that Scott Hall, Razor Ramon only went. If he could have went to WCW and kept the name Razor Ramon, he would have had just one character all the way through. You know what I'm saying? I truly think he might be. It's very arguable that he's the best character in wrestling.
Okay, the chat is talking matches and move sets. Vinny, when he wrestled as Razor, moveset might have been different, but yeah, he was like 20 years younger. So, but his moveset, a lot of people copy that moveset. He wasn't a little guy. Well, what, 6'6", 6'7"?
Like 6'7".
Yeah, like he moves very well for a big man, and he had that slow, methodical style. And one thing he did, you mentioned the Razor's Edge, one of the most protected finishers in the history of wrestling. When he did it, he didn't do it if it wasn't going to end the match.
If it did in the match,
and the fall away slam, and the like, everything about this character, both characters, Razor Ramon and Scott Hall, it was the details, right? Razor Ramon, every one of us as a kid flicked a toothpick because of Razor Ramon. You know, we all did impressions because of Razor Ramon, but as Scott Hall, you know, it was NWO for life. He was just a cool man. Like everything about, like when he said he oozed machismo, he really did ooze machismo, and I don't even know. I still don't know what that means.
You know why? The white man from Maryland made that shit up and ran with it, and the world took it. The world took it. That's not something that you get. Like, you know what else he also made? You remember he just coming to the ring in WCW? Hey yo, like he had everybody waiting for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, when you talk about going back to the moments versus the matches, this is gonna get very, very tricky, right? Because no one can remember the 96 Bash of the Beach match from start to finish. But everyone remembers the end. And the ring being littered with trash. And then, you know, his partner in crime talking about, you fans can stick it, brother.
You remember this. You remember this. Like, you remember the things. And that's the tricky part about it. Because, like I say, Razor in WWFE in ring, I would say he wins this argument. Outside of that, though, and again, Vince said people remember the finish and the moments. NWO, yeah, I think it was Vinny said he got outshined by Hogan and Nash. I mean, everybody can't.
You know what's funny? Hogan was on a decline. It's easy to say that really quick, right?
The Outsiders revived Hogan.
Right. Like the opposite of that is, well, hold on, he might have been outshined, so to speak, but he revitalizes the career of Hulk Hogan.
And even with that, I don't know if it was Hall or Nash, but they said when they first shot that NWO promo, Hogan wanted to do it the way he always done it, like this 80s style promo. And they was like, no, we're going to shoot this way. We're going to do the black and white, and that's it. So
if Hogan said it, though, I don't know. I don't know.
Huh?
Just because Hogan said it, I always kind of question it now. Like,
no, Hogan wanted to do it that old way, and they was like, no, we're doing black and white, one shot, shaky camera. So they even revitalized what Hogan knew about the business at the time. They saved Hulk Hogan's career with that.
They absolutely did. Absolutely.
And it only could have been Hall and Nash, because the other people who came over was Lex Luger. Like, Luger didn't have that thing. Hall and Nash was the perfect fit. And these characters was just totally 180 from what they was doing in WWF.
The Giant, I think, was the 4th member. Like I think he's the next member that joins. There is nobody WCW has
because he was running around with the Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah, there's nobody on that roster that could do what those two did for Hogan. And to be
It's the
honest,
perfect storm. It was the perfect storm.
It just happened to be Hogan. Because remember, they were also gearing up that if Hogan doesn't make it, what's the next plan? We got to have a plan B, and it was going to be Sting turning, and that would have still been super crazy. Hogan just is, he was the baby face for so long since the 80s.
Universal Trappers talking to the rep holding over the necklace. I mean, yeah, man, dude was Razor's like Jay. Scott Hall's more like Jimmy. Bad Vinny from the chat right now.
Yeah, I can't even go with that one, Vinny.
I know he's just joking, but yeah, I really think
this is how he's accomplished.
This is probably one of the most even battles, but he had more championship reigns and titles in WCW though.
He does. This is why it's not. It depends on what side of the argument you're looking at, right? Because if you're looking at accolades and analytics, you go, whoa. Right? WCW. It's easy. Yeah, it's WCW. But if I'm looking for, WCW doesn't happen if he doesn't make if something happens to this goal, something gonna happen to you. If he ain't doing all that shit in WWF, Razor Ramon.
It's kind of like, do you want the MVP season where you made history, or do you want to win the championship and be part of the team that won the championship? So what do you want? Because his WWF days was definitely MVP, all about me.
It sets up the Scott Hall.
His WCW Scott Hall days was, I won the big game. I might have done it with a team, but I won it. So would you want the MVP or you want the Super Bowl ring?
And it's a funny thing about that because his again, no world titles in either, but WWF clearly sets him up because remember, he was already Scott Hall before he came to WWF. It didn't go anywhere. They put him with Diamond Dallas Page. It did not work. It doesn't work.
He had to go find his cool, man, and he found it. He found it.
And then he transitions from there over to WCW. However, in WWF, Shawn Michaels puts this guy, him and Shawn Michaels put the ladder match to where they had ladder matches before. Let's not act like they didn't. And if you didn't know that, they did. Before WrestleMania 10, there were ladder matches. They used to usually use them at house shows. No one before those two ever used a ladder as a weapon. It was literally a tool used to climb. They weren't hitting each other with it. They weren't baseball sliding it into each other's rib cage. It was, we have a wrestling match. Okay, now I got him down. Let me go get a ladder, put it here. Knock the guy off the ladder, put the ladder away. We're not using this, slamming people on it. That's how the ladder was used prior to WrestleMania 10, HBK Razor. And they make magic. I mean, god damn.
Razor was it, though. And as a kid, it was nothing cooler than Razor Ramon, bro.
But
then as a teenager, it was nothing cooler than Scott Hall. And I feel that's who he genuinely was as a person. That's why it worked. He was just being himself.
Even when he retired, it was always like, and you know what I'm saying? It was like, he really did a number on that character.
What he said, bad times don't last, but bad guys do, or something like that. Definitely, when he passed away, that hit me. I felt that. Like a lot of times when celebrities and people pass, I'm kind of a little okay. But when Scott Hall passed, Scott Hall and Kobe Bryant, two of the biggest losses that the world, I think, has seen in sports world. And even with that, you talk about sports, Scott Hall, rappers quoted Scott Hall. Like, people mocked Scott Hall. I mean, Razor Ramon, like NWO and Razor Ramon. He was like a cultural icon in both worlds. Even to the end.
It's funny. AJ Francis has a song called "The Wrestler," and it's to the Scott Hall beat. It's to the Scott Hall. If you go to Apple or Google, YouTube Music or whatever, AJ Francis has a song called "The Wrestler," and go listen to that beat. You probably didn't even know people could rap like that on Razor Ramon's beat, bro. Dog, I'm about to just play a 3-second version of it. It's yo, everything about Razor was cool as a fan, bro. Like the way he moved, the way
Even his rain gear, bro. The razors on the rain gear, but even to the outsiders with the drippy blood, like Scott Hall was him.
Hold on, I just gotta put this up. 100%, bro. 100%.
Drip, like you talk about drip, he was drippy. Rain gear, crazy. He had the details on the pads and that, and people still to this day, even I think Damian Priest wears the drip.
Yeah.
Damian Priest wears the, and he does the Razor's
And
Edge.
he does the Razor's Edge. So, oh my gosh. Can you hear that?
You know who I am. But you don't know why. I'm a wrestler. 100 stamps all up in my passport. See, I'm the main.
Dog, I'm just gonna. The fact that he took Razor's Edge and
AJ
combined it
Francis
with
gonna choke slam you.
Hey, if y'all haven't heard the song, go listen to it. AJ
He
Francis.
might not choke slam you because when AJ Francis battled the Saga, you were part of the battle. So
yeah, it might have saved me.
If you
I
haven't seen King HP make his battle rap debut, he was part of the Saga versus AJ Francis battle. I was there in the back in the red hat looking crazy. We all was there. But if you've seen that battle, the person that yells out during that battle is none other than King HP.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because ain't no G
Ain't no
in him.
G in him. Matter of fact, happy birthday to AJ Francis. Go tag his page. It is AJ Francis's birthday today. Salute to the guy. Happy birthday, AJ. We're gonna put that on the bottom of the screen for a little bit. One, because he has a fucking Razor Ramon song with a Scott Hall fucking voiceover. You know,
he said we don't get ladder matches in TLC without Razor and Sean. SCB First Lady said he was a part of great factions, but still was a great solo and had big success. And it's kind of neck and neck. I would say the NWO thing puts him over. That's my argument with this. But history, man, he's a part of a lot of history in wrestling. And you can't have certain things you don't have without Scott Hall / Razor Ramon. They revamped and refreshed the ladder match. Absolutely.
100%.
He made the big man, because think about what the big man looked like in wrestling. It was always a big goof.
Big fat, like Bastion Booger.
He made the big man cool. He made the big man sexy. This is the second podcast in a row I don't call the wrestler sexy. I don't know what's going on. He made the slow style work because he worked a slow pace.
He worked a slow pace, but he made it look good.
And he beat you down. Good. He looked good doing it. So he did that, and then he was a part of, like I said, the NWO. We will never see the NWO, nothing like this in wrestling again. It changed wrestling. It got us here. It got us the Attitude Era. It got us a lot of things, and he was a part of that history. You can't have these things without this man, and he was just weaved into it. And again, he's part of legendary groups. The Clique, unofficially a group, but it's a group in wrestling. The Clique has given us Shawn Michaels, Triple H, X-Pac. They've given us this. This will live forever. This will live longer than any of us. And Scott Hall is a part of all of that, man. The curtain call is another moment in history he's a part of. Scott Hall was just weaved in history of wrestling, and you can't have wrestling without him. And he should be celebrated more, actually. He should be celebrated a lot more, other than just an urban legend and pop culture phenomenon. The world of wrestling should honor him more, because everybody's a Scott Hall, Razor Ramon fan. Like, you can't find nobody that don't like him.
You know what's funny? It's crazy to think this guy never had a world title run. It's crazy to sit here and think about it. And this is why him, Shawn Michaels, the Mr. Perfect, Ravishing Rudes, going back a little bit before them, they're the reasons I love mid-tiers. Because it lets you...
SCB, I'm cut you off. I think it was Friday. Yo, happy birthday, SCB First Lady. I think it's this Friday or last Friday, but happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the horse women out there.
I think it was to the horse women. You know what I mean? Salute. Enjoy the. Obviously, you made it. You safe. You still good. You still here. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk to her like Denzel. Wow, you're still here. You know what I mean? So you must have had a good time. But yeah, the thing that he was never the world, because he would have really, but he elevated all mid tiers that he did.
He would have been the champion nobody wanted to see lose. You wouldn't want to see Razor Ramon lose. You wouldn't want to see that. Like, you would be hurt. You didn't want to see it. Because he made it. I got gold on my fingers, gold around my neck, gold around my waist. Like, he was just, and he was really in the projects in Miami. That wasn't no green screen or nowhere in Albany, Georgia. That was him in Miami for real. For real, for real.
Miami. And he was universally accepted. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the big man and the medium
size man. He was so cool that even when it was in the ring, he got hit in the head with a drink. And you know what he did? He just slicked his hair back. Didn't flinch. Scott Hall, man. Rest in peace to one of the true legends in and outside of the ring, man.
But you guys are going to have to decide. You viewers who are not
it was last Friday, man. We got to put together a package for SCB, man, and show some love, man. We'll figure something out.
So. Yeah. Click gang. I knew. Hey, my man was out to, you know what I'm saying, taking care of the family, doing family things. We love to see it. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you take care of all that. Mike McCullough, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about you, good brother. I'm talking about
Chico.
But yeah,
Chico, my cheese mo. Like, he brung things like the devil's in the details, man. That detail, and here's the thing about the Razor Ramon character and Scott Hall. I mean, Kevin Nash Diesel. Another part of wrestling history we got was fake Razor and fake Diesel, because they were so valuable to that company. And Kane went on to do great things. Fake Razor went home, and Vince McMahon told him, "Don't call me again." I know this for a fact. So,
hey, but right now,
another part of wrestling history, though, that's unbelievable. Scott Hall's part of unbelievable parts of history. The curtain call was one of the things that really kind of started breaking kayfabe, right? The Monday Night Wars, unbelievable. What they did for the ladder match was unbelievable. The fake Razor and Diesel, the fact that they thought they could get that over on us was unbelievable. Like really, Vince? The people ain't look nothing alike.
Pull you up. I'm about to pull you up. That's like, hey, Archie, you might want to hold your guns, baby. This might become a handicap match, a handicap match. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I know how to leave the chat. Go ahead, bring them up. I'm cool.
We about to bring up my number one pick from the click. You know what I'm saying? And we got, man, there's a lot of people in the parking lot tonight.
Oh, y'all just outside tonight. Okay. Hey, look, enjoy yourself.
You know what I'm saying?
Enjoy yourself and be safe. It's a lot of good things, though. Coolers out there making money. D celebrating with the family. SCB says chaos. You might have a house party. Mike chilling with the fam. So everybody doing good things. Just be safe, because, you know, we want y'all around. What's up, Vinny?
What up, my dogs, man?
You gotta say, man. Go on, say it and get back to doing what you're doing.
I'm gonna give you the same way we had to get it, though. You don't get off the leash and get to come in here unrestricted, running around the yard, no chain on, get to do all that. You got to do it in 2 minutes, because it provides a different level of, when I give you them last 10 seconds, start counting down, and you trying to scramble for them words, it's different.
I just got one thing to say, guy.
Oh, okay.
One thing, okay.
That's all I got. I just got one thing to say, and that all that is
I'll still hit time just in
y'all
case.
pretty much lost this battle before it started, because last week at the podcast, I want to say around the 1 hour, 6 minute, and 23 second mark, you said, "Damn, HP, I hate that I got to take down my favorite wrestler next week."
Who said that?
You said that.
I wasn't even on the pod last Friday. That was AI.
So with that being said, I pose this one question: why the fuck are we here?
Man,
got him.
Don't you got something to do, Vinny?
I'm here, man. I'm cooking you, man. That's what I'm here to do. I'm cooking
Hey, what
you.
we eating tonight, Vinny? We eating horsemen.
All right. So this shit over, bro. Let's just talk about something else.
Oh man, Vinny, all right.
You, I
Vinny
mean,
coming here.
evidently.
Don't use what I said against me.
I mean, you saying you gotta watch what you say, baby.
You know how much I say on this podcast.
Hey man, you said some other things on Friday, but we ain't gonna address that.
Oh man, yeah. I think you're breaking up. We might have to drop it and get back. Hey, if I said it, what I said, documentation beats conversation. But
if you said it, you meant it, man, huh?
No, I said a lot of things I don't mean. So
I guess it sounds good.
Vinny, what's up? What up? So we definitely know that we are Razorheads over here, you know what I'm saying? And Razor Ramon is definitely that dude, you know what I'm saying? But let me ask you a question though, right? If I took Razor Ramon's career, is there anybody right now in the WWE who you could say has who didn't eclipse the world title? So Jey Uso will be out because he won a world title, right? That you could put on Razor's level.
Wait, say that one more time, bro.
Is there anyone in current WWE, right, that you would say has a career like Razor? You know what I'm saying? Where they haven't won a world title, but they're the guy. You know what I'm saying?
So like the king of the mid card.
King of the mid card. Because Jey Uso just won the world title, so he's out.
I got two, but they so young in the company that they don't have the career yet.
I want to hear what they are because
damn, see.
This is how crazy
I was gonna say because y'all was talking about Shelton Benjamin earlier because he was doing his thing in the mid card and he never really got that world title shot. Shit.
I got three.
I would say Jericho, but then he ended up getting the belts a couple times because he was doing his thing on the mid card.
I think he's an 8-time champion.
Hell, Rob Van Dam, man.
I was just about to say Rob Van Dam. He got the title in 06 at one night stand.
He won a world.
He got like 14. And Rob Van Dam is highly decorated.
Yeah, for sure.
I was gonna say in current, I would say
Ethan Page. SCB, you silly as hell.
I would say Jacob and Brian, but they don't have the career yet. They don't have the tenure. But Jacob and Brian got it. They're stars.
Yeah.
I would say Jeff Hardy.
But he got the belt.
Won.
He got the championship.
Oh, he did.
That's what I'm saying. Razor's like the last of a dying breed. Because like Franklin was trying to go there. He was like Mr. Perfect, Ted DiBiase. Yeah, these are guys who I'll be doing mirror balls on. Rick Rude. But Razor's like the last of that breed where you could be the man in the company. You could be the guy going doing main events, doing a press run. You know what I'm saying?
Hell,
what about I was gonna say, what about D'Lo Brown?
I don't think he ever gets to the height that Razor got, but it's a comparable, like in-ring accolades and shit. I think it's very comparable.
Mark Henry
left on. No, Mark Henry
got the world title.
So we talking about
it's hard. Razor did something. Razor's the last of that breed. I really think he is. Where like Mr. Perfect was a world title contender. He took on Hulk Hogan in the Garden. He was on Regis and Kathy Lee. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Perfect was that guy. Ravishing Rick Rude, another one. That guy takes on the Ultimate Warrior for the world title at SummerSlam.
Jake the
Snake. You know what I'm saying? These guys are cut from that cloth where they never win. You can put them in a big card, and it feels like whoever the champion is going to be the underdog. And it's like, damn, how the champion, the underdog to a guy who's never been champ? Because they got that much, you know what I'm saying, aura on them. They got that much, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at today's, this is why I say the mid cards are important.
Yeah, Razor was a rock star. He's a wrestling rock star. And that's my thing too. Sometimes some people are just so popular, whether they win a title or not, doesn't matter because they still have that popularity.
Yeah, there's a lot of cats that got popular organically that never really got that push.
And see, I think if we had social media back then, Razor Ramon would have been.
You could even go back to like cats like, I don't mean to cut you off, but you could even go back to cats like even like in 2011, like with Zack Ryder, he had built up a fan base organically, and then they never really.
I said online. If it was social media back then, Razor Ramon would have been all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Ooh. That's crazy.
Hell, Booker T, but he got that one title. So
he got 5. He had 5 titles.
Oh, damn, he is.
Then King Booker. King Booker got that world title.
King Booker. Yeah, I think Razor Ramon is truly that dude. This is why when I talk about mid tiers, this is what I want to see the WWE go back to, where they can push a guy to the top of the card. Everyone can't be a world champ. WWE started doing this a few years back in the mid to late 2000s, where you're like, everyone, if they get hot, we got to give them a run. No, you don't.
Rikishi never won a title, did he?
Not in the world. Rikishi does never. Maybe he qualifies, but I don't think
he was real. People love Too Cool. Maybe it was the gimmick.
But I think they was like,
I'm a bad man. That was my song when he used to come out to that. I'm a bad man.
I think Rikishi got when they made him goofy. It was cool for a moment, right?
Did Kane never win a world title?
Yeah,
24 hours.
I wasn't sure.
He dropped that thing to Stone Cold Fat just as he won it, and they should have did that. And he also won the ECW world title, I think, too. But like,
and then he got the world title again, like around like 2010 type shit.
Yeah,
yeah, Razor, that would have super solidified him.
Yeah. Shit, another one I was gonna say was Christian, but then he ended up getting the world title, but he had short stints, like around that whole 2010, 2011 era. But
Doc, I don't think there's nobody that really is on the king of the mid card. That mid card is damn near gone. Like, you see what they're doing with Drew McIntyre. They're bringing him down to fight for the U.S. title. All of a sudden, throwing him in the mix with Jacob Fatu. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your stars, where are they at? Why are they just going back and forth? You want
to know what I think? Hey, you want to know what I think what they're going to do with that U.S. title? This is just my theory. But I think, like, because, kind of going back to War Games, the Survivor Series last year, you had Bronson Reed teaming up with the Bloodline 2.0 to go against the OG Bloodline, right? So yeah. I think they're going. So I know they kind of say, like, people been saying they've been teasing this whole breakup with Solo and Jacob right now. So if they actually do Solo versus Jacob for the U.S. title at SummerSlam, does Bronson Reed pop up to help Solo take the belt off Jacob? And then you finally gold on Solo?
Nah, you can't ever make Bronson Reed a babyface.
Not right now. Whenever he's coming back.
But I'm saying when
he got to come back to hurt something. He can't come back to save nothing.
But I'm saying, but the thing is, like, if Jacob just runs through everybody and then he has Solo, like, who else could have a shot at taking Jacob out?
The thing about Bronson is Bronson had a real bad injury. I don't know when he's coming back.
He should be around SummerSlam.
He shattered his ankle. So,
it's crazy. Talking about Jacob Fatu and who he can lose to. Remember, he can lose to anybody. Dom is the current champ.
SCB, he wouldn't be the baby face. Because if Solo's the heel, because Jacob is he's kind of a baby face low key.
He's a tweener. Can't stop the fans from cheering.
Yeah, then Solo, he'll be the heel. So it's like, you have Jacob, he's kind of having that baby face moment right now against Solo. Solo hasn't had gold yet. And then it's like, he has Bronson Reed help him beat Jacob.
Yeah, a baby face and a ski mask, a backwards Ronnie Lott jersey saying, yada I mean.
Yada I mean. Yeah, that boy, the werewolf.
But I think
shit. And then like, let's say after the match, let's say Bronson Reed, he drowns the werewolf with 7 tsunamis.
Bro, who knows what's going to happen with WWE and all the acquisitions and people they bringing in. I don't even know what to expect with the WWE right now, to be honest.
I think expect the unexpected and expect a lot of mix-ups, right? Drew McIntyre was headed to world title status coming off 2024. MVP, looked for big things. He started going after the bloodline. All of a sudden, that just disappeared. And then he went after Damian Priest. Now he's going after the U.S. title. They don't even use him for world title championship caliber guys when he's one of the biggest threats, So I think WWE right now is having a real tough time with consistency. And that's where none of their storylines are consistent.
They're just trying to find something that's going to
long
stick,
and drawn out. That's all it is. They just so long drawn out.
They're just trying to see what can sell a merch, sell a PLE, sell
They
out
say
the
Carrier
event.
Cross got the third highest T-shirt in the company selling right now.
Yeah, I saw
And
that
I'm not
earlier.
surprised. I'm happy for him. But where's Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns looks very weak. Roman Reigns has not even mentioned the world title since he has come back, which should have been his first order of business. Brother, you had it for almost 4 years. And all he's talking about is the Ula Fala and getting the bloodline back stabilized. Now the bloodline's not stabilized. Now he's trying to do what are we?
And here's the craziest part of all this: Backlash is Saturday. It don't even feel like it.
Right, I forgot all about it.
I forgot all about it.
It don't even feel like Backlash is Saturday. And I mean, we gotta do predictions Friday night.
And that's in what, 3 days?
I may not be available Friday. I might not be available, HP. I'll talk to you about that offline.
Got you. But
now, I got a dentist appointment, and I don't know what they're gonna do to me. So
you might have.
Oh shit, you got some cavities in there.
I gotta go see Isaac Yankum.
Oh shit.
Isaac
Yankum,
BDS.
So I might have a puffy face and can't talk Friday. So I got you. I'm just letting it be known.
The numb mouth. I feel it.
But I think WWE. I almost want to do a blog on like my letter to WWE. Before you lose everybody, please set the course of correction. Make a 1-year plan. No, I'm being honest because what is it?
Write a manifesto.
Pride comes before the fall, right? People forgot, like, damn, there was a time when wrestling got real cold. You know what I'm saying? They were barely making 1 million views on SmackDown. You know what I'm saying, and such. And when you got revitalized, the bloodline led it. You had a clear leader. You had a clear storyline pathway. You kept people guessing. You added to it. It made.
And you know what? I think WWE didn't take advantage of them being super hot because you got to think what really was the decline of wrestling. I think was a lot of eyes went off the product because UFC got really hot and boxing. Boxing over the past few years was heating up, and I don't think they really took advantage of that.
I'm Eric. Vince Russo just did a blog, right? And he said, you can't capture my feelings more better than what he just said. Because, and one, remember, he's a real insider. You know, he used to write the storylines that we loved growing up in the Attitude Era. And he said it a lot, like Triple H ain't getting people over. And I'm not going to say I agree with that or not. I'm going to say this, though. You did vignettes for a guy just to wash him, flush him, and boot him from the company. We're not getting vignettes. We didn't get no vignettes for Jacob Fatu coming to the company.
You talking about that? You talking about Vinci?
Vinci.
I don't think the goal is to get people over. I think the goal is to.
You got to.
No, and I think the goal is to manage the person, right? We saw that with The Rock. When The Rock left, that was a big deal. So they never want anybody to get bigger than the company. Daniel Bryan kind of was an anomaly. But even like you mentioned, Zack Ryder, they only let that get so hot. It's things that happen organically, then I think they just kind of strip that away.
No, I don't think that's. I think these are two different conversations. I think the WWE is always going to have to try to get people over. You're always going to want people to get over because, again, when I got people over and he's a babyface, yay. When I got someone over and he's a heel and they're booing for him the way we want him to, yay. When we can't really control things, right now the WWE will take what they can get.
Here's my thesis, and we're gonna let this be the example. Let's watch what they do with Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do left or right with what I'm.
No, I'm saying he got over organically, and if that's not what they wanted, I think they're gonna take that title.
He didn't get over organically. Like, remember this: he got cheered when they wanted him to be booed, but it was so WWE.
That's getting over organically.
Listen, when they want you to be a heel, they want you to be booed. When they want you to be a babyface, they want you to be liked. They want you to be cheered. This is evident because I use Roman Reigns for a perfect example, right? He was booed beyond belief as a babyface. It was ruining his character. He even talks about his Royal Rumble win being one of the worst moments of his life because he was booed out the building. They could not get him over, right? It's WWE turning the flag and say, yo, let's run with it. This is what they're doing. We have to run with it. And this is what they've been doing on the fly. Make shifting. Oh, Dom is being cheered. Go back to the ring. Go celebrate. That's what they're doing. They're riding that wave. Hey, let's send them on Bubba Ray Dudley show. Hey, send them here. Ride the wave versus creating one. You know what I'm
And
saying?
that's the problem. It's too, you see it too much. You don't see. You never seen your heels do that. It's just, do you have heels doing babyface stuff?
Well,
and then the crowd don't know who to cheer for because Cody and Cena, perfect example. They thought this John Cena experiment was gonna be all one thing. They were cheering John Cena and booing Cody Rhodes.
And that's what they're gonna. But again, they're gonna ride the wave instead of embrace it, hold down, hunker down. Like you see what Roman Reigns did. They hunkered down on that character. They just hunkered, and they figured out a way to finally get him over to the work.
Yeah.
Hold on. Adam, I think we're gonna do predictions on Friday after SmackDown.
So he was one of the biggest things in the company.
Cesaro.
They more so react. They react.
And that's what we're seeing as part of the problem, because you're not trying to get people over. Why would you do vignettes on a star to crush him, to literally crush his first match after all those vignettes we got for a couple of weeks, right? You crushed him in 30. It wasn't even 30 seconds. He got beat by Apollo Crews like that. Got beat the next week like that. Wasn't seen on TV again. Rolled him out. You could have spent that money for vignettes on a superstar you wanted to push. We got vignettes for the Wyatt Six, right? Let's watch what happens with McAllister Black.
The Wyatt who?
Exactly.
They were talking about Alexa Bliss is supposed to be coming back to be like the new leader.
It's already done. These guys have been almost a year here. We forget, and they haven't done a single PLE. They've barely done 10 Raws.
You could even still have them on TV without Bo Dallas. You could have still had them doing stuff.
They're gonna fuck around. They're gonna fuck around and kill off Alexa Bliss, putting her with the Wyatts.
You can definitely ruin people's momentum, and she already is losing steam. She went to the Elimination Chamber, and then
we ain't seen her since.
Yeah. And then it was like, where the fuck did she go?
We seen Trish Stratus more than we seen Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross this past.
Gave us Trish Stratus.
Y'all know, I want to see Alexa Bliss out there. That's the Ohio girl right there.
But that's the thing. WWE is very inconsistent.
I like Alexa Bliss. She's good. But here's the thing: they got a whole new crop of women coming up. So
right, they got a load of women.
And Joy and Grace dropped Julia on her neck twice. I ain't like that.
Well, shout out to my dogs. I see you in the chat, gangs. They'll pull up, man. You know it's time to clown. Where you at, gang?
I think that Julia drop needs to look at WWE and say, "Oh shit, okay, look, that was obviously no one plans a botch, right? But we might have to look at some people to say slow down, because that, I mean, I don't know if it could have been avoided. I don't know what that we're trying to pull. If you're trying to suplex her over or just
I'm gonna say this, and I don't know if anybody's gonna agree with this, and then we're gonna get back to Razor Scott Hall. Maybe be done. I don't know. I've never seen Jordan Grace look this unsettled in the ring.
You saw that match with Julia?
She doesn't look settled in she don't look good in WWE rings. She made a great appearance at the Royal Rumble. I've never seen her make this many missteps in TNA.
I mean, this was a big.
She had a botch jumping through the ropes. I mean, I never seen her dropping the ball on their head twice in one match.
Yeah, she dropped Julia right on her neck. I saw that twice.
And it's like I don't know if it's the NXT thing that's getting to her or she got eyes on her, but she doesn't look comfortable yet.
Yeah,
and that's why she's at NXT, so she can kind of work out those kinks to get her ready for the main roster, Because it still is a developmental show. We still got to keep that in mind.
That's some dangerous kinks, bro. Drop somebody in your head.
It is. But I'm just saying. But I mean, that's kind of like what NXT is for. You know what I mean?
Not on the main show though.
Is it really a main show?
I mean, it's on TV for us all to see. It's developmental, but like,
I can't believe you going against it. You were singing a different tune.
No, 100%. But when I feel like it's developmental, but now you have IG
click.
Evolve. You got Evolve.
Hey, Archie, you said Friday. You said you said Razor was your favorite.
You got Booker School, Cody Rhodes School, Seth Rollins School,
and Mark Henry's now.
Ways of developing talent on a lesser platform.
But they just got there though.
Who?
They just signed.
Grace ain't new.
Well, who?
Julia ain't new. They
No,
ain't
not
just
them.
been there.
I'm talking about those companies that they just added. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about
I
Jordan
mean,
Grace.
true, but they said Wendy Chu down there already.
You
Remember
said,
Wendy Chu
oh,
was
yeah,
she was in NXT
And
all the
Nikita Lyons.
yeah. Nikita Line. I see they down at Evolve now.
mm-hmm.
I
But
wanted to see something come of Wendy though. I wanted to see Wendy.
They
I
was
thought they
doing
could have
something
did
with her.
something with Wendy because she came back as the whole scary gimmick. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Then I saw
all right.
Trick trying to get another title shot. They got a battle royal coming up.
yeah, for the
I see
TNA
him and
title.
Joe Hendry. Yeah, him and Joe Hendry going for the TNA title now.
I'll say this, and then I'm pretty much done on all this, and then we can go back to Razor style, or we can just roll into next week. You know what I'm saying? But
You gotta put the poll up, baby.
yeah, TNA putting a Trick Williams title shot, you're really devaluing TNA.
If Trick wins.
Even period. Just having it because you gave Randy Orton no title shot and went against him at WrestleMania. And if Randy wasn't worthy of getting a title shot, then fucking Trick Williams ain't close.
Well,
If
it was a
Randy Orton,
random kind of surprise open challenge.
hey,
So
you're right. That's fair. But I'll defend I'm at WrestleMania. Why wouldn't my title be on the line?
TNA, Joe Hendry needs to beat Trick Williams. TNA needs to finally look good in this whole merger. They've
But how
not
does that
looked
make
good.
Trick look though? But how does that make Trick look if he loses to Joe Hendry?
Like he
Doesn't look
lost
bad.
to Joe Hendry.
Yeah, I mean he's the world champion of another company. You don't win, no big
So
deal.
y'all don't think Trick stock goes down? I love Trick, but you don't
I
think
think I 100% think somebody's stock is going down. Either TNA as a company or Trick Williams.
Yeah, it's a little.
If Trick wins the title, TNA stock is down because you already just showed Joe Hendry. Okay, you just said, and I've said it for weeks. NXT is the developmental, right? So TNA is only doing wrestling matches, good ones with NXT, right? Well, what happens if you put them up against the main roster at a PLE? Your world champion doesn't last 6 minutes in the ring with Randy Orton. That's what it looks like. So 6 minutes and then Trick wins, TNA's company stock is done. It's done. That means you're worse than NXT.
But I mean, but
how
high do you really expect TNA to get?
WWE could have made
Like
this
realistically,
where they could have been, let's get them out of the NXT and let's get them towards the main roster.
I think what HP saying is your champion should be a champion and look like a champion, be presented as a champion. They've not looked good.
You want them to lose to Randy Orton at WrestleMania? Fine. 20-minute, 25-minute match. It comes down to the wire. Maybe even
your champion's your best man on a roster, like
the best man on the biggest stage, and he didn't last 6 minutes and took 2 RKOs, which it's okay because Randy's a legend, but it's not okay when you're like, bro, we're a struggling brand.
And here's the thing about Trick Williams. I have nothing bad to say about Trick Williams, but there are better wrestlers and better on the mic talents in TNA that could beat Joe Hendry. So it's just gonna look a weird way. So
yeah,
somebody's losing in this. I don't know who.
Yeah, somebody's stock will drop.
Trick winning the TNA title would be kind of fire though.
It'll push Trick stock to the moon.
I thought Randy winning it would have been dope, and Randy just running to the locker room would have been crazy.
So in other words, in order for one side stock not to drop, somebody has to win by DQ, maybe.
No, Joe Hendry can beat Trick clean. And it's like, damn, he lost to the TNA World Champion. Okay, I can still be the NXT World Champion, if Trick
wins. Title means more, NXT Champion or TNA Champion?
Probably it should NXT. Be the TNA.
It should be TNA because NXT is still developmental.
It's just developmental.
But I mean,
so that's what I'm saying. Like when you lose to the developmental
talent, but this a WWE title.
WWE, that's what I'm saying. WWE is going to keep their stars above.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna make their talent look dumb against TNA is probably like the G League to them. You don't want your NBA player losing to a G League player.
I get you because this is the problem with having one company and one company is a major, the big dog, and the other company is still trying to bark. We're going to do to you what we want. You either take it or leave it. And it's not, You can never do this with WCW back then because remember WCW was like, we're a big dog, we got our own guard, we got our own this. And matter of fact, if we want to fight, we might fuck you up. And WWE was like, you remember they lost to him for 83 straight weeks. That's almost 2 years.
Boy named this whole podcast after that shit too.
Hold up. Polo said this shows Joe Henry's value. He wasn't really a champion, but TNA and WWE putting a bet on him to expose him as a solo star was only going to happen, making Joe the champion. Again, Joe can wrestle, and Joe's been doing this music thing for a while. I just think social media makes companies say, hey, this is the guy. Even though they may not be the guy, this is the guy because they're trending and they got social media on fire right now.
You know, it's funny you said that, Archie. Remember when Joe Hendry came to NXT the very first time in that Battle Royal? Remember he got eliminated really early, right? But he was a surprise entrance, right? Because remember they filled the ring with people, and then all of a sudden his music hit for the first time. And until WrestleMania 40, it was the most viewed thing the WWE had last year. I remember this because I covered that NXT episode solo. That was my first time going solo on this podcast. And Joe Henry was the one. I was trying to figure out the numbers. Like, maybe it was because Joe Henry was there. So Joe Henry brought the stock up for NXT because none of their guys ever did those type of numbers on social media. WWE reacted. They were like, yo, Joe Henry. Remember they did that pushed them to do a merger with TNA to where they could take stars on a routine basis and they could also sell their merch. Remember they started selling Joe Henry merch. Peacock had a Joe Henry weird lineup of like what the fuck is going on with Joe Henry? WWE reacts to them numbers.
SCB said this merger should have happened years ago, but even if it happened years ago, ultimately most of those guys that made TNA went to WWE. AJ Styles was there, Samoa Joe was there. Abyss is a producer and writer there, so
also Abyss. Abyss was a dog.
It's just a weird thing. Then you gotta think about those weird Hogan Sting years in TNA. Jeff Jarrett was
trash.
Yeah, the Main Event Mafia days, and
I remember them. Black Snow, wasn't that Booker T's name?
It was rough. Black.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, TNA before Hogan and them got there was so much better, man. Like when AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels and
Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles, man, it was
cooking. When they were carrying those X Division matches, those shit used to be crazy. Mm-hmm. Abyss was like TNA's Kane.
Yeah, a complete ripoff. He's like a Mankind Kane character.
Kane.
Abyss was hard though. Abyss was tough.
I hated it.
What? You didn't like that? You didn't like that Monsters Ball match with Abyss, Jeff Hardy, and Seth?
No, I rock with his matches and shit. I just hated the look of his character. Like, you look.
Hold on, we got some people
big ass.
NXT. He had a thong on his face. He had a leather thong on his face.
NXT belt means more than TNA. Wow,
that's horrible. That is a horrible point. I'm not disagreeing with the point either, but that's horrible. If I'm the big dog company, no company's messing with me. I do a deal with another.
That's company. Like saying your high school championship football ring means more than somebody who may have won a title like a Division II school.
Yeah,
shit, to me it does.
Because you're associated to a certain
That's
family.
Crazy.
But you're associated to a certain family. Like imagine that. Yo, I did pro football, arena football, and my title means less than your high school state championship. Yes, because we're the Mannings, and the Mannings know football. And if we would have, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, people put value on what they put value on, I guess.
It's not that, bro. It's not that. We can't say things like that because people could put value on NXT or TNA. WWE is the one who pulls the trigger because guess what? They're the Mannings. They're the ones.
But here's the thing, HP. TNA had to agree to all of this.
Yeah, I get you, but they're doing it because it's like, well, what else can we do? I bet you
find what you was doing because you was cooking at one point.
No, bro. For them to think about this, for them to send their stars to get cooked knowingly, they're not selling out arenas the size of a WWE. So they're looking at it probably from the perspective of, I mean, they can help us with the bill. It's just like people in bad relationships, but the dude is paying all the bills. You like,
what's the new group that they call the Bootleg Shield? What's the guy's name? Dark Wave,
Dark State, Dark State,
Dark Night,
Dark State,
Dark.
That's how they should have introduced the TNA talent and some type of invasion, some type of takeover. Like, we're going to make a point versus them just feeding us Joe Hendry, feeding us this person. They should have come in with a bang. They never had that bang.
You want this to be like that mutiny storyline on WWE?
Bro, I'm going to say this.
They never had that moment. You know what I'm saying? That big.
I'm going to say this, and this goes back to what Vinny said, and it goes back to weeks of me saying this, and I got to kind of change my mind now, but it's true. If NXT is your developmental brand, there's no reason TNA should be down there like this. You should send your worst superstars who you think need help, but you should be invading the main roster this way, right? Because this is why Nick Nemeth said he don't want to do it. I was in WWE. I was a main roster talent. What I look like look what just happened with Elijah.
There's some dogs in NXT though, bro. There's some dogs in NXT.
No, you're still on developmental. I'm not going to send my all-star to battle a G leaguer.
Dogs in NXT.
Bro, listen to me. They don't crack 1 million views. And if you want to be a reputable company, this is why AEW is like, nah, we ain't gonna ever do none of this shit because you're gonna just shit on us. It don't matter what dogs is there. It don't matter what dogs is there. You're still in the G League.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question. I see SCB First Lady, shout out to her. I see she asked us in the chat. She said, "Do y'all consider TNA better than AEW?"
No, statistically, on no plane is it. Now it could be as far as wrestlers and what they say.
I think wrestling is a.
What about quality wise? How about quality wise? Do you think TNA has a better quality product than AEW, but AEW is just more popular?
AEW puts on great pay-per-views, bro.
Yeah, they do. They do have some good ass matches. I can't lie.
It's just the lead up to
storylines. I just get lost with them sometimes.
And then again, wrestling is a preference, man. It's kind of like what you like. So
yeah, it is. It is. I mean, they got some cool ass.
I watched Io and Penta in Lucha Underground the other day. I forgot that even happened. Fire. So,
but let's just call a spade a spade.
Io was crazy.
What's the second biggest company in wrestling?
AEW.
AEW. It's not close.
Yeah, AEW. Yeah.
So I don't want to tap dance around questions, regardless of whether I like something off preference or not. The reality is, like, there's I can't even think of other leagues, but there's like the NBA, and then there's like the World Basketball, there's FIBA, and they're like that. Nah, it's the NBA is the league.
I think the world has changed so much.
XFL, Canadian League.
The world has changed so much, and the access to things is so much now. You can say they not cracking 1 million views, but 1 million people is watching the product. They might not watch it during the Nielsen scan time, but people are watching. If they weren't, they wouldn't have TV deals, and they wouldn't be lasting this long. So it's the convenience thing. We had to be in front of that TV at 8:00 during the Monday Night Wars. You would have missed it. So plus more things cost more. So the tickets, like they're talking about the Kendrick tour, did all these wonderful numbers, the highest grossing thing. Of course it is. Tickets are $400 a piece. Like, it's going to break the record because
stadium tours though.
It costs, and it's a larger. So the numbers are going to. You're going to get the numbers. But like I said, when you don't get the numbers, it don't mean the product ain't good or people ain't watching. That's what me and HP always disagree at. And if you know, you know.
Say, Archie, I'm surprised you talking numbers, man.
Yeah, I'm about to stop.
It's all good though, man. Hey, numbers, hey.
I just know this.
Only numbers I'm concerned about is the number of people who vote on this poll that's about to go up. If you missed it, it was Razor Ramon versus Scott Hall. I think it's close either way. HP gonna put that up. And what we got next week? We're gonna let them know. We're gonna drop it on the Instagram. How we gonna do this, HP?
We might have to drop it on Friday just to confirm. You know what I'm saying? And then this way it gives people the weekend to prep.
Yeah. So Friday after SmackDown, we're gonna go live, probably to do predictions because I don't even know what the show is gonna be this Friday. If I'm on, because I gotta go to the dentist, so I might need a representative. So
it might be another trash SmackDown, dog.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
If Raw wasn't good, I don't think SmackDown's gonna be any better.
Yeah, that part.
So, I mean, I think Cena, he might pop up. So if Cena pops up, I might watch that. So
if he don't, it's sad because you got another champion with another title that we don't see.
Right. He pops up in the last moments.
Well, he has to pop up too because it's right before Backlash, so he has to pop up.
I'm talking about this horseman. You know what I'm saying? This is goddamn horseman. This is how they do. You see, Cat try to, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me switch
Yeah,
sides.
man. He ain't talking about nobody popping up. He talking about your boy showing up. What's the deal?
What
How
up,
y'all
boy?
feeling, man?
What up,
Happy
Polo? What's
Wednesday.
good?
Chat was cracking. You know, the lead horseman is here. Vinny was good.
What's up with
HPRG.
my dog, man?
Foes up to all my
Number one
horsemen in the
fit.
Hey,
chat.
tap in on this
SCB, my
Scott
lady,
Hall
was
Razor thing real
cracking.
quick before we get out of here, Polo.
Yeah, do
All
your
right,
thing, man.
Wait, what we say? My bad. I know I'm late.
I said tap in on the Scott Hall versus Razor thing real quick before we get out of here.
I'm gonna say it to the chat, even though I already dropped this incredible knowledge to that clicky guy. Scott is the GOAT off of one phrase and one phrase alone, bro. Like it
That nigga don't
changed.
even believe that.
It changed the trajectory of wrestling. You don't know my name, but you know why I'm here.
You don't
If
even
that
believe
moment
that
doesn't
shit.
happen, I don't know if wrestling doesn't continue, bro. Let's just keep it a band. Am I lying or am I lying? Am I lying or am I telling the truth? I feel like I'm Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. I keep it real. You just don't like who it's. You don't like who the words are coming from, but I'm telling the truth. So,
Cap.
see, that sounds like a person that a click person would say. But
Hey
yeah,
man, I'm just saying, man.
Scott Hall is the
I
reason.
wasn't
Look,
talking. I was talking about the cap on your head, bro.
Scott Hall is the reason for that. Scotty is the reason for being a part of, even though I don't rock with him now to this day, Scott Hall is a part of the greatest faction ever created in the history of wrestling, bro. And he was a major player, a part of the wrestling thing. You feel me? With the NWO. You know what I'm saying? If him and Kevin Nash are not standing in that ring to introduce Hulk Hogan, things are not the same. I understand that Razor Ramon had a swag that was uncomparable. I understand that he had a intercontinental ladder match that was one of a kind with HBK. I understand all of that,
Pretty
but
crazy.
if that match was that great, and maybe somewhere down the line it might get acknowledged, right? But as of right now, that match didn't get voted as one of the greatest matches of all time. But I
Hey
bet
Polo.
you if
Hey
I
Polo.
bet
Let me
you if
ask you this
Hold
question.
on, hold on. Let him go. Let him go. Let him
Go
cook.
ahead.
They did just put out a 50 greatest match list, and that wasn't on it. I don't know.
And we recapped that where right here live on the Attitude Era podcast. And I have my list went from 1 to 50 because he was only supposed to do the top 10 and ended up dropping all 50 of them because
It was on
the
there.
momentum was good.
Was
No,
it?
It was on there.
huh?
It was on there. The top 50 matches.
Was it?
Yeah, sure.
I
Yes,
don't
sir.
remember you mentioning it. If you did, then hey, my apologies to the chat. But I don't remember you mentioning that match, my brother.
And Frank,
But
you're right.
anyways, with
Everybody
that,
was like, hey,
back
yo.
to Scott. Scott was a part of, like I said, I'm not a Hogan guy and all that now. Well, even I feel a little way towards Bischoff, but the NWO is the greatest faction ever assembled. Let's just be honest. For what it did, the cause and effect, If you went to school, you understand the severity of cause and effect.
Talk to him, Polo.
Of Oh yeah, we're horsemen, but we're heels too. So I don't really care how people feel. Respectfully, you say we keep it respectful, but I gotta talk my ish. People emulated everything after NWO shirts. NWO shirts came out in the late '90s. It's 2025, and I still see people to this day using NWO as their theme music on 2K25. I see T-shirts happening. Everything is still emulated in black and white. Hogan and Bischoff wanted to reignite an entire promotion in the respect and imagery of NWO because they could have won it. I'm just saying, NWO was
That
really
was
there.
last
And
week.
Scott was a part of all of that. Scott was there for all of that. And if you really think about it, he was the introductional voice to giving you what would become the greatest faction of all time. So moments, matches, impact, longevity. What else can I say that doesn't prove that Scott Hall is the GOAT of between him and Razor? And we give his praise and respect every time. Since that man is
brother.
rest in peace, we shout him out in love every single time that man's name is spoken of. So I don't know. I think that was kind of handed to the Horsemen. I don't know if that was a setup for the future, but
the people got to vote. HP gonna put the
Talk
poll
your
up.
shit,
The poll's
Talk
gonna
your
be
shit,
on
man.
YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You got a week to vote on it. We're gonna remind you. And Vinny, I don't like all the racist wrestlers. I want to say that
You
to
do.
we don't like.
Hey,
Can I get on that? Okay.
Wait. Not only do you not
I don't
love
like
them,
that y'all be coming from my. I don't like that y'all be coming
It's
from my
cool.
horseman leader with all this racist wrestling,
It's
bro.
cool.
Hey,
Hey,
you see
listen.
how melanated I am, bro? We don't allow racism over
Hey,
here, bro.
but your
We don't
leader lacks
allow.
the
Look,
melanin.
hey, yeah, HP
Like,
black,
stop
but
it.
I got HP beat, bro. We don't acknowledge that hatred over here, bro. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No,
Hey,
you ain't gonna put that
listen.
label on my squad,
Hey,
bro.
at the end of the day, your boy said Hogan was sexy.
Wait, what? Say that again. I didn't hear you. Literally, I didn't hear you.
So you think Hogan is sexy, Polo?
Your general manager.
Hogan is sexy?
That's what your boy said. Word
Not
for
only
word.
do I not agree with you, Vinny, don't ever repeat those words out your mouth ever again in your life.
I said Hulk Hogan
I
was
gotta
a
repeat
sex
them,
symbol,
man. Now I gotta repeat them. Archie said Hogan was sexy.
I was, I'm like a referee. I'm like a referee in the NBA or WWE. I didn't see it, so it didn't happen.
We all saw it. We was all in the chat going.
I see
HP.
HP got the nice freshly pressed click t-shirts on.
Yeah,
I was gonna say if I ain't see it, it didn't happen.
It did. If I didn't see it, it didn't happen, bro. Straight up, Archie.
All you gotta do is go back to the recap. It's on footage.
Nah, Nah, I don't know nothing about none of that.
What Lord of Luck say? We kept the files.
Yeah,
we kept the files.
Hey, Polo, I know you tapped in late. Anything you want the people to know about? Vinny, anything you want the people to know about before we get up out of here? Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to Zell. Who else in the chat right now? Big Frank tapping in. Mike McCullough.
Polo, shout out to you, my brother. You did your thing, gang. You know
SCB First Lady, Adam in the building. A lot of people in the chat, man. Shout out to the Horseman and
shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I'll be over here trying to do my cooking thing, man. I'm about to start my own Instagram with all my foods, and I'm gonna display. And I got a lot of
cooking with Polo. Cooking with
people that
Polo.
want to have good snacks for your kids on parties and stuff. Once I start showing y'all what I got to present to the table. If you guys want to take and indulge in me and take a chance on what I got to present, then you guys, by all means, please rock with your boy. Outside of that, you know what I'm saying? It's forever Lakers still. Niner gang. Football season finna start. Niner gang.
Talking shit.
Hey, speaking of, we might have to start us a little Attitude Era Fantasy Football League, man.
Oh, man, we really, that's a great idea. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I haven't done that in years, but I'm putting it out there now. If you're interested in it,
I'm with that.
I'm gonna start the Azure Podcast Fantasy Football League. It's gonna be free, but if y'all want to throw something in the pot and the winner take the pot, we can do that.
Hey, and to everybody in the chat, whether you guys rock with what the Tribal Horseman has to say about this wrestling stuff, I don't care. But if y'all want to make some money and y'all want to get educated on some real how we gonna win these this fantasy league and these parlays, hey,
that's how we found out about Polo. He was in parlays.
Yeah, y'all better learn about me.
Polo.
I'm not telling you.
Every WWE PLE I go to is courtesy of Underdog. Shout out Underdog, sponsor Attitude Era, bro. Let's get some money. But
that's parlay Polo right there. Vinny, what you got?
Facts. That's gonna be my.
Hey man, shit.
That's how we come up with this big parlay Polo. I like that, Archie.
No, but shit, y'all already know, man. I ain't really got much to say, man. Just follow me on the PS5 gang. You know what I'm saying? Vinny Andretti, you already know the username. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Vinny Andretti, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, man, be safe, be smart, stay blessed. You already know.
If you don't want to get beat by 40 on Madden, don't play Vinny, bro. He's nice on the sticks, y'all.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Where respect is due.
Vinny been sending me invites to play college football since he came out. I'm not accepting one. But look, speaking of football, I think I'm gonna do that. Just said it, man. I'm hit me up on Instagram at the Archie Carter, TheArchieCarter, the Archie Carter. Give me your email addresses so I can set up this fantasy football league, and we're gonna do an Attitude Era Podcast Football League. Like I said, we could do a freebie, throw some money in there, winner take the pot. We can do that too. But just how the Wednesday Night War started. It started through a conversation, so I'm gonna do that. What you say?
Hey, the loser, if HP get up in it, the loser, he gotta wear a Horseman 97 shirt and he gotta say it pridefully too.
Hey, if I didn't see it, it didn't happen.
So
It hasn't
oh
happened
yeah,
yet.
we're
You
gonna have
haven't
we're
no.
gonna have something
Hey,
for the
you
we're gonna have
haven't
something for
seen
the
it yet
winner.
because it hasn't happened yet. But
We're
you're
gonna have
gonna
something
Hey,
for the
because
winner,
hey,
and we're
because
gonna have
just
hey,
know
something for
this.
the
you
loser.
Hey,
gonna
just know
see
this.
this.
Just know
Hey,
this.
you gonna
Just know
see
this.
this.
Know this. Draft pick
Hey,
one, number one.
That
Rock
nigga
paper
done
scissors
scooted
tonight.
back.
One, number
I
one.
wanna hit my
Matt Polo,
pencil
make
Boy,
off
that
you
his
guys
nigga,
head so
vote.
bad.
The
Like,
click one.
Listen,
you
You know
I'm
what
know
I'm
that
so
saying?
nigga is
confident.
not
Listen,
rolling
listen,
into a
listen,
pencil
listen,
walk.
listen, Lynn.
Hey,
That nigga just
I'm
first,
so
rolled into a
confident.
pencil
hey,
walk.
I gotta get a shirt to wear the
I'm
shirt.
so confident that
Oh, I got you, Zal. I'll play you.
I won't. I said the winner gonna get something, the loser gonna get something. It's fantasy football. I'm gonna set it up. If I come in last
hey,
place,
Franklin, just tap in with me.
if I
Goddamn
come in
shirts.
last
Got
place
goddamn shirts
with this
everywhere.
fantasy
You heard?
Damn,
football thing,
HP.
But
I
hey,
will get.
Archie,
Goddamn
hey,
shirts
Archie,
everywhere. You
hey,
heard?
Archie. Ain't it funny how he over here drifted all this merchandise? Hey, wasn't there a promo back in the day about that? Didn't Edge have a promo about that? He had all that merch backstage and didn't nobody get it or buy it, and he was
He,
mad because
he looked like he trying to do the
didn't
WWE
Edge
Christmas
just
shop
think
right
that
now.
everybody was just gonna buy all this Edge?
Where he went? Where he went? Where he went? Anyway,
Yeah, Frank tap in. Frank tap in with
We
Vinny.
trying to
But
get
yeah, Polo out of here.
This is the Attitude Era podcast, yes or no? So you have to know what I'm talking about because I'm speaking on the Attitude Era. Edge thought he had merch and he thought mother lovers wanted that. That's what Archie look. He got it on his head. He got it on his shoulders, knees,
man.
and toes. He
All
about
right,
to do the
well,
elementary
all
school
right,
dance.
Polo.
Head,
Hey,
shoulders.
Polo. Hey,
Hey,
Polo about to start sweating with all that moving he doing.
Oh
Your man
yeah.
over there. I got my man
He
stretch.
about
Hey,
to
He's
start
losing weight.
hey,
sweating.
watch this,
But
watch
Relax.
this,
yeah,
watch this. Let me say this.
Relax.
Let
Hey,
me say this. Hey,
I'm
let
in
me say
Cali.
this.
Hey, I'm in Cali, bro. It's
Turn your
beautiful
camera
weather.
to the
I'm
side,
in Cali. It's
then get on
beautiful weather
camera first.
outside,
You know what
bro.
I'm
I
saying?
don't even
Hell
leave
Win
the
the
yeah.
road. I
bag,
just
then get money. You know what I'm saying? Turn your camera to the side, then get on camera. There we go. But yo, it was real having y'all. Appreciate y'all popping up. You know what I'm
Gang,
saying?
gang.
Appreciate
the
it.
polls going up. Yeah,
Till
hit me
next
up so
time.
we can get this fantasy football thing going. I think it's a
Y'all better
great
vote for
idea.
that razor.
Do y'all prefer any particular way to do it? Because last time I did it through ESPN.
Y'all take multiple. Oh, you talking about the
ESPN,
fantasy?
hey, ESPN fantasy or Yahoo fantasy. Those two are legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go with
NFL
one of those.
fantasy.
Yeah,
It's
hit me
like
up. I'm gonna get this started. Yeah, we're gonna roll. Add to our podcast, fantasy football. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. That's all I got, man. It's Wednesday. We'll see y'all Friday night doing the main event of SmackDown. Plus, we got our backlash predictions. HP, what you got before we get up out of here?
Nothing, man. Tapping Friday. We got the SmackDown, and then this weekend after the PLE backlash. You know what I'm saying? We'll be live during the main event.
It don't look like you looking forward to backlash at all.
Nah, man, I really wasn't. So
bro.
it was what it is, and it is what it is. But
There's nothing about Saturday that should have anybody excited, bro.
That's crazy.
Nothing.
That's
The
crazy
fact
that
that Randy
the
Orton
first
and
PLE after
John Cena
WrestleMania has nobody excited.
in a PLE and doesn't anybody
Hey.
care speaks volumes about the company.
Hey, right now, how many matches can y'all name from Backlash off top?
All of them, but
I can
they're
name
not
them.
worth. They're not. This entire backlash is basically like this is more of a go home SmackDown than a PLE.
That's crazy.
This gives more of a if it was if they would if WWE was in their bag, this would be a really good go home show to build up for a PLE. This is not a PLE quality show.
It's a filler, like I
Hey,
said.
well, we will see Saturday. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Shout out to the best chat in the world. Shout out to Polo Vinny. Shout out to Kenny Movie.
Shout out to the
I'm D. Archie Carter. We will see y'all Friday night for the recap of SmackDown. Answer our podcast. You heard Wednesday Night Wars. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You dig?
Dang.